Good job,
Hi,
Bear.
good boy.
Good
Oh,
job,
hi,
Otto.
Otto.
That's
Hi,
a camera. Hello.
Hi.
We're on the bed
Yep.
because today we're talking about our new dog.
Oh,
who's
there
a
he
little
goes.
scared.
He's the
He's a little
scariest
scared.
boy that we've ever known.
Yeah,
Come on,
but
Otto.
he likes his favorite place to sit with us is the bed. He's
Here,
a little
bud.
scared of the
Good
camera.
boy.
So we're sitting in here in the hopes that he might join us for the video that's all about him. So if you've been following me for a while, you've probably heard me mention Otto, our new dog. And of course, no matter how long you've been following me, you know about Bear. Because Bear likes to be the center of attention all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But today we wanted to talk about Otto. Yeah.
He knows.
Otto! Because it has been a year since we adopted him. We never did a video like this for Bear.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that we want to do a video like this for Otto is because Otto is a little different from your normal dog adoption situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you read the title of this video, you know that Otto came from a hoarding situation. And before we get into it, I just kind of want to talk about why we're doing this video. Mostly, I just kind of want to talk about our experience with adopting a hoarded dog. There aren't a lot of videos about this from the perspective of the people who adopted a dog. When you look up like adopting a hoarded dog, you see a lot of the perspective from the shelter, which is great, and like definitely listen to those because they know what they're talking about. But also, I think it's good to know kind of the experience firsthand of someone who has had like the dog in their home. So that's mostly what we want to talk about today. And I want to clarify that we are not experts. I just want to talk about our experience. So, of course, if we say something and like your gut is telling you that's wrong, or it goes against what your vet or like any other expert that you know has said, don't take our advice over theirs. But we just want to kind of share our experience. I think it's an interesting experience that I don't know a lot of people who have adopted a dog from a hoarding situation, and it's has its challenges, and I wanted to sort of talk about that and reflect on that, and also know that we are genuinely trying our best. So I know that people can get really nasty about pet stuff on YouTube. Just know we're trying. We are two people trying our best. Constructive criticism in the comments is fine, but like constructive max. If you're like being unnecessarily nasty to us or to other commenters, we'll be monitoring comments. So just be respectful, please. And it's not that we're not willing to listen. Just be nice about it. Thank you.
We are not experts in any stretch of the word. We love Otto very, very much, and we've done our absolute best to take care of him to the best that we know how. Mm-hmm. If we are doing anything wrong, let us know in a very polite and constructive manner. Also, keep in mind when you see any videos regarding any animals that are acting or behaving a certain way, a lot of people like to jump to the conclusion of, oh, they're abused, or oh, these people don't know what they're doing, or oh, they're horrible, horrible pet owners. I just see certain videos like that. You don't know. Mm-hmm. You don't know what the dog is really feeling. You don't know the lengths that the owners have gone through previously to get them to this point.
Yeah. You see like a 30-second clip of a dog doing mm-hmm. something weird, and it's like, wow, abuse. If you took something from our life with Otto out of context, especially when we first got him, someone might blame us for the way that he is acting. But, mm-hmm. He was scared of us when we first got him and still sometimes acts scared of us.
He's still scared of us a lot of the time.
I wouldn't say he's scared of us, but we scare him because he's easily scared.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, out of context, it could look like we, have done bad things to Otto, and it's like, no, he's just had other bad experiences with people. And he projects that onto other people, especially when we first got him. Mm. I was so embarrassed to share certain things, certain videos we had of Otto on social media and stuff, mm-hmm. because I was afraid people would think that we were bad dog owners. But it's not that we are bad dog owners, it's that someone before also was trying their best, probably. I think a lot of people who hoard dogs really think they're doing the right thing, but it hurt him, and he now reacts to humans in kind of a negative way. But that doesn't mean that the people in the video are necessarily the ones who have harmed the dog. But yeah, I guess I just want to start out kind of just talking about the story of how we got Otto. For the longest time, we wanted a friend for Bear. Because Bear's kind of mean. You're a mean boy when you try to play with dogs.
Yeah, you're mean.
And we wanted him to get to not be such... He has small dog syndrome. He's not very good at playing with other dogs. So we thought that getting him a little sibling would help him. I think it has. So we started looking around for other dogs. It was actually really hard to find a dog.
It was the first summer of the pandemic.
Yeah.
When everyone was looking to adopt a dog because everyone was at home.
Yeah, everyone was looking to adopt a dog, and also it was hard because certain shelters were having like really weird restrictions, and like it was hard for us to like schedule an appointment for a specific time when we had to like work around our work schedules. It was just hard to like even go visit a dog and see if like it liked us and all that stuff. Yeah, after kind of looking around at a few places, we wound up seeing, I think we saw a listing for him. His name was Pacifico.
Yeah, his name was originally Pacifico.
Yeah, there's someone walking by our backyard.
Oh,
yes, there
you see
is.
them? Oh, good boys.
Good speak.
Good
Okay.
alert boys. Good. Whoa.
That's a great speak. Okay.
Hey, Otto.
Now can you be quiet?
Hey, bud, calm down.
Good job. Oh.
Good boy.
Okay.
Hey.
Be quiet
We
now.
see you. We see you. That's a good boy.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of him, I think, or you sent me the listing. And I thought he was adorable. You thought he was adorable. On the listing, it said, I think, that he had come from a hoarding situation with... So
shelters really love to embellish facts about dogs to get you to really tug at their heartstrings and everything, which is understandable. So take this with a grain of salt. They told us that he came from a hoarding situation of over 36 dogs.
Where did you get 36? Because your Facebook post says 50.
50? I don't remember. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we were told 50 because shortly after we adopted him, you posted on Facebook that it was 50.
Yeah.
I think they told us 50 now.
Is
that true?
Yeah. I don't remember the exact number. I know it was in the double digits, like over 20 dogs.
It was, in my head, I always either have 30, 40, or 50.
Yeah.
So it's like in that range.
Yeah.
What we were told.
But like I said, they could have been embellishing the facts to make you feel sorry for the dog. But what was clear is that he came from a rough situation.
So we knew that going in. And basically, if anyone wanted to adopt him, they wanted the person to come by and visit. They kind of had like specific, kind of like a checklist that they wanted to meet. They would prefer if the adoptees had another dog to teach Otto, Pacifico, how to be a dog. They didn't want the adoptees to have kids, just because it's another chaos. Yeah, it's a lot more stimulus. So like a small family, preferably of all like adults, and a small house or apartment.
And a fenced-in yard. No, they didn't want an apartment. They wanted a small house.
Yeah, that's true. They did not want an apartment because, again, a lot more extra stimulus. There's a couple reasons that they want a small house. One is that they're used to being in crowded areas, so it's not as overwhelming. And two, there's just fewer places to hide. And when you first get a hoarded dog, at least in our experience, it will try to hide a lot. Fenced-in yard, so it doesn't try to run away, as with any dog. But again, especially with a dog who's just going to get scared if it hears like a car engine rev. So we met the requirements, or maybe not requirements, but again, we met the preferences. So we took Bear to meet Pacifico, and they were very sweet to each other.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
We didn't really
Bear
record.
knew that he was nervous.
Yeah.
Bear knew that Otto was nervous, and he didn't try to like go at him or like play with him too intensely or anything like that. They just kind of very calmly checked each other out. And
yeah, Otto was kind of perfect for Bear because Bear gets intimidated so easily, but one cannot be intimidated by Otto. Maybe now.
Maybe
He's
now.
pretty excitable now.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was not intimidating. So, like, they were just, like, very gentle and sweet with each other. Otto was so scared. He hid in a little corner, and, you know, we tried to, like, let him sniff our hands. That was all we wanted to do. We weren't going to, like, try to pet him or overwhelm him. But the staff there encouraged us to, like, you know, sit near him and see if he would come sniff, but, like, don't force it. That's what we did. I think he sniffed our hands a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, yeah, I don't know. He was a sweet boy. He got along with Bear. And we thought it would be a good match. So we took him. You know, they briefed us on what difficulties can be encountered with a hoarded dog. We knew that it would be challenging, but also rewarding.
He's been great.
He's been great.
You know, we touched on this a little bit, but he's still a scaredy boy. He still runs from things. You know, he doesn't always, like, if I were to, like, try to reach up right now and try to touch him, he would run off the bed. And
I can touch him with my foot.
Kinda, yeah. You know, but he'll get excited. You know, when we say when it's time to eat or time to go outside. They're not reacting right now. That's kind of surprising.
O-U-T.
Yeah, right.
They'll
get excited. Like he'll get excited. He'll be happy. He didn't used to wag his tail at all. He was just constant, like, tucked between his legs every time.
He's gotten a lot better.
Yes, he's
matured
improved
a lot. First day or so, what was it like when we brought Otto home? Like I said, he was really scared. He would hide in, like, any corner that he got the chance to hide in.
Yeah, any corner that he could hide in, anything he could hide under, he tried to get to.
I had forgotten this because I've gotten so used to it now. They encouraged us to get, you know, a little cage for him. We call it his house, and because that would give him a place that he feels safe. They encouraged us not to leave him in there all the time because then he would stay in there all day. But for the first week or so, we would just let him go in there. We left the door open all the time to his house so that he could go in there to feel safe without hiding in a corner that was like, nope, that's not your place. You know, the house is your safe place. And we sort of were slowly training him that, you know, when you're in the house, this is, you know, look at Bear. This is what a dog acts like when he's out and about in the house. And when you want to just feel safe and, you know, hide, you go in your house. And that was a big thing that we were kind of training him on the first weekish. Yeah.
Another thing was leash training. He, when we first got him, he did not respond well to a leash. He would just jump everywhere, which sounds like a happy dog because, you know, jumping is happy. No, he was terrified.
If his feet touched grass, I think it was like grass specifically, he could be on a leash in the house, kind of. But if we tried to take him outside, he would, like, try to jump up into your arms because he didn't want to be on the grass. Which is so funny because now outside is his happy place.
He loves it outside.
He loves being outside so much.
Yeah, we'll because we have a fenced-in yard, we'll let him just free roam. We keep a leash on him in case, I don't know, he sees a squirrel or something and he just manages to slip through the fence. We keep a leash on him at all times just so that in case we have to run after him, we can catch him easier. But it's not because we think he's... It has not happened.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
And we used to do it because we were afraid that he would just run away from us and we'd have to chase him down and catch him. Now we leave it on him because we're afraid he's going to run after a squirrel.
Yeah, right. He's not going to run away. He's going to be chasing something.
Yeah.
Also, like, mini tip, we were instructed to get a special kind of leash, right? Not one with a hook, but one that, like, you weave the fabric.
A slip leash.
Yeah, slip leash.
I don't know if that's a real official term for it.
So that it's not, like, tightening on his neck too much, and also so that, like, it doesn't break, basically. So we did that for a long time until he got a lot better at heeling, basically. And now he has, you know, a harness and a normal leash, I guess, with, like, a clasp.
Yeah.
It's funny, potty training him was not hard.
Not at all.
He didn't want to pee in the house. And I think part of it was that he was very skinny when we first got him. I think that he just didn't have very much in him.
Yeah.
Like, his body was just absorbing everything that we fed him. Also, getting him to eat was hard at first.
Yes.
So he didn't have a lot to do in the first place. But when he did, he would, reluctantly stand on the grass, but eventually would figure out, like, it's like somehow he knew this is what grass is for. So that was nice.
Yeah, he was very easy to potty train. It was very unexpected.
Yeah, but getting him to eat was hard.
Yes, that I think has been the biggest challenge for Otto. I remember that's been a point of very much irritation all around for me, you, and Otto. Getting him to eat. Bear don't care because he is scared of everything, including dog bowls. And even still, sometimes he won't eat. And maybe now it's because he's not really hungry. He just he just perked up at that.
It's like he gets excited when we bring him the food.
Yeah.
And then he'll take like 5 bites, and then he'll be like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like, for a while we thought he was scared of the crunch, so we would give him wet food.
Yeah.
So much money.
And
we realized that he wasn't even eating it with wet food anyway, so we just kind of went back to... There's a squirrel out there.
Oh no.
Bear, be quiet.
Be quiet, bud.
Don't activate Otto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried wet food, and then we realized that he still wasn't eating even with wet food, so we were like, why are we spending extra money on this? Yeah. I don't really know, like, when there was, like, did we do anything different, or did Otto just suddenly one day sort of start eating more consistently?
I think it's just kind of something maybe clicked in him.
Yeah.
I do know he won't eat with only me in the room. He won't. I don't know what it is. But he'll eat with me and you, or just you. Yeah. And sometimes he'll eat by himself.
One stereotype of hoarded dogs is that they have, they really, really like routine to the point of some even have like OCD tendencies. I wouldn't say that Otto has compulsions.
No.
But he does really, really like routine.
Yes.
So he will only eat if each of us are sitting on our respective sides of the couch. And it takes him about 15 to 30 minutes to like finish his food. Yeah. Whereas like most dogs will just chow it all down in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Bear he eats it in no time flat.
Yeah, and Bear is he's so good at sharing too. He does a really good job of not trying to eat Otto's food. There was a point where we would try to leave it alone sometimes and let Otto go back and eat, and I think sometimes it was not Otto who was going back and eating it. But he's gotten a lot better about it.
Yeah, Bear has not shown any kind of food aggression. They share the same water bowl, which is right next to Bear's food bowl. And Bear has not gotten upset with Otto for going near it or drinking out of the water bowl. And vice versa for Otto. You know, Bear would sometimes get near Otto's food bowl and sniff it, and Otto shows no kind of aggression.
Sometimes.
Really? I haven't noticed.
I definitely remember you saying the specific quote, if he develops food aggression, I don't care as long as he's eating. Because sometimes Bear would come up and Otto would do just like a little, and then he would go back to eating. Not even growling, but just like a quick, and then Bear would be like, okay.
I don't consider that food aggression, though.
Yeah, that's true. But we were like not sure if we should like discourage it. And we were like,
I think by that I meant I'm not.
I know it was an exaggeration.
I don't want him to get food aggression, but I want him to care about his food.
Yeah, and he needed to gain weight.
Yes.
So like at that point, our priority was, just eat. We don't care what you have to do.
Just eat. At this point, just eat, and we'll deal with the aggression problems later if they arise. But that never really came about.
And now most days he eats. We feed them twice a day. Yeah. Now most days he does eat all his food. Yeah. Both times. Sometimes he might eat all his food in the morning and then only half his food at night, or vice versa. But he, according to the vet, weighs a healthy weight, so we're not as worried about, you really need to eat your food, please, please.
Yeah, we just took him to the vet, and both pups got a full, clean bill of health. So.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I just remembered something else when we first got him. This is also, like, I guess kind of a tip, too. Like, take pictures when you first get your dog,
Mm-hmm.
because when we got Otto, he had a lot of not scars,
Injuries?
not scabs, injuries.
Something.
Yeah, he had like scar rash sort of stuff, like
all
kind of like
just,
Zuko.
in his on his face, missing
Fur.
and everything along one side of his face.
Mm-hmm. And also a little bit like on his neck.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh no, you know, he like got beat up by another dog, or maybe like something fell off a big pile of, you know,
Right.
who knows what the situation was. But something had clearly happened at some point. I mean, he had been transported to like 2 or 3 different shelters too, so like it could have just been like in a tight situation with another dog.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened, but he had, you know, some injuries. We also bought Otto a flea collar when we first got him.
Mm-hmm.
The same flea collar that Bear's wearing right now. It works great for bears. Seresto, you know, you get them at the vet. They're well-known, trusted flea collars.
Mm-hmm.
Otto started having a reaction to the flea collar.
Like within 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And it took us maybe 2 days to realize that it was the flea collar.
Yeah.
Because we just thought, man, he really is beat up. I didn't realize like how bad it was on his neck. And yeah, this is why I say like get pictures and like look at them and see if anything is changing. Because if your dog, you know, has injuries, make sure those are staying the same or going away, not getting bigger. And it's good to have a picture to compare to and say, okay, why is that getting bigger? We're not doing anything. Oh, it's on his neck. What's on his neck? The flea collar, right? Like it's nice to have it's important to have a point of reference if you get a dog who has some blemishes, so that you know that he's not having an allergic reaction to, you know, his harness, his collar, any medications that you might be giving him. Maybe like from laying on your carpet, he might be having an allergic reaction. You know, who knows? If you get a dog who has nothing on him when you take him home, it's easy to say, oh, whoa, when did this happen?
Right.
But if you don't take pictures or make note of what blemishes your dog has, if he does already have them, you might sort of say, oh, wow, I wonder how that got there for a couple days before realizing, oh, it's actually coming from something that we put on him. And now he has a flea medication, and everything's good. He has no allergic reactions. And his fur is grown back. He has a nice fuzzy white face.
He's like barely a year old, so he's still a puppy. Not by dog food standards, but most people would agree that a dog's not out of the puppy stage until like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, they've still got like obnoxious teenager tendencies. Whoa. Hey.
Is there a person or a squirrel? I don't even know what you're growling at now.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, birds.
Oh, birds. Oh, birds.
Man, they were tag teaming a rabbit one day. I told you about that.
They'd be good hunters.
They totally could have gotten that rabbit, but I think they just think they're playing. Like they don't attack.
Yeah.
Otto has definitely had the chance because he's very fast.
Otto's very fast.
We think he's a whippet.
Whippet mix.
Yeah, something with whippet, so he can run really fast. He's got very long legs. I guess thinking about how we've had him for a year kind of goes into my next question, which is what are some milestones that we've seen with Otto?
Well, I mean, he wags his tail, just in general. When we first got him, he would just constantly have his tail tucked between his legs. And he still does from time to time.
Yes, and I do think that part of it is just because he's, like, if you look at pictures of whippets, half of them have their tails between their legs. Like, even if they're happy or, like, not scared, their tails just, like...
It's a default state.
They are, like, naturally low tails. Or there's, like, a name for that breed of dog.
Well, just now, I mean, I don't know if the camera picked it up, but he was, like, walking across the bed, and, like, neither of us were doing anything to trigger him. Nothing was going on. And his tail was
calm.
really... It was clearly calm just now, and his tail was very low against his body.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, we can tell when he's scared. Yeah. But, like, when he's relaxed, it's just, like, straight down. Not between, but, like, straight down.
And maybe, like, straight down and, like, curved out a little bit, just because he has a little bit of a curvy tail.
Yeah. And that's why it's useful to know a little bit more about your dog's breed, if possible. Now, Of course, we could be wrong.
Yeah,
Maybe
we didn't
he's
take a
not
DNA
yeah,
test.
like, we don't know, but it does give me more peace of mind just knowing that, like, based on the way he looks, he really does look like a whippet, and that could explain that his tail isn't always between his legs because he's scared all the time. Sometimes that's just where his tail goes.
Yeah. He's a very happy boy in comparison to what he was when we first got him.
Yeah.
So that's really
He
nice.
almost always wagged his tail when he would play with Bear. Even like maybe like a month in, he would wag his tail with Bear. But now he wags his tail when you get home from work, and he wags his tail when it's like when we say the words that are related to consumption of goods.
And traversing outside of the house.
Yes.
And like when we first wake up in the mornings, I'll like let him out of his house, and he'll jump on the bed and get all excited.
Yeah, like
he'll
if
run into the room.
he will get up to let the dogs out. I stay in bed for a bit because if I start getting them their food while they're about to go outside, they will not go outside.
Yeah,
They'll get distracted by food.
Yeah.
So I'll stay on the bed for a couple minutes, and he'll come in here and like jump on the bed. He likes to sit with us on the bed at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a big milestone for me because people had one of the things that they warned us at the shelter was, he'll never be a normal dog. Maybe he'll never cuddle with you. And I think that was something that we were both kind of like sad about. Like we wanted him to be willing to cuddle. And, like people say, it's not a good idea to force him to cuddle with you. But you can encourage him too.
Because
with treats or even like put him on the couch and let him get down if he wants to. And then just leave it alone if he wants to go away.
Don't hold him there.
But we would do that occasionally just to let him know you can be here. Like Bear. Did you notice that Bear's here? You can be here too. And we did that a couple times and he was not interested for a while and we kind of let it go. And then, I don't know, I have pictures. It was probably like maybe 6 months ago now. The first time I was just like home alone watching TV and the other half of the couch was empty and he hopped up and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Never thought he would do that.
I don't think he realizes that our legs are our legs when we're laying down in bed, but when we have the covers over us, he'll lay down and like put his like whole body on me, on my legs or on Becca's legs or something.
Yeah, he'll use it as a pillow.
He'll use it as a pillow. I don't think he realizes it's actually us, but it's cute.
It's his way of cuddling.
Yeah. And I mean, clearly he wants to be up here because we're not doing anything to force him up here. We're not trying to entice him with treats or anything right now.
That was something we did at first, though.
Yeah, it was.
When we would get in bed and watch TV at night, we would bring some treats. And we would, if he got in with us, we would be like, wow, you're on the bed. Good job. And we use some to Bear, too, because it's fair. But now, if someone's on the bed, he wants to be on the bed.
Yeah.
That is also a feature of hoarded dogs, apparently. They, even though they don't like being picked up, they really, really attach to people.
Yeah.
And that's
He's more attached to you than he is to me.
That's true. They like people more than men. They like women more than men generally too.
And I think it's a height thing for me because he is scared of tall things. It's like an irrefutable fact.
Yeah.
He's still very scared of tall things. Not so much as he was before, but he is now. Like even now, we've tried very hard to train it out of him. But even now, sometimes if I sit up straighter in my chair or stand up and walk through the house, sometimes he'll get scared and start barking at me.
Yeah, me too. If I stand in one place for too long and I'm just like kind of sitting there trying to think of what I'm doing, I'm not clearly doing something, I'm just standing there, freaks him out.
Yeah.
Also, another challenge that we didn't mention is he does not like change at all. If you get new furniture, we changed the floor. He actually handled that like a champ.
Yeah.
But I was so scared when we changed the floor. I was like, Otto is not going to like this.
Yeah.
If we put a vase of flowers on the mantle, he will bark at it. Just like tiny things, he will like go crazy. Now, that is something that he's also gotten better about.
Yes, he has gotten better about it. I put landscaping rocks around, encircling a tree in our backyard, And he was terrified of those. It wasn't even tall. It was
Yeah, but,
something
like,
on the ground, but
to
he was
do an
terrified of it.
example, yeah. But for an example of something that he's gotten
At
better
first.
at, we put the garden beds out there, and
Mhm.
he, after a day, he was just running around chasing squirrels again. He loves to play with Bear. Barking.
Yeah. That's an ongoing challenge.
Yep, that's one that he's improved.
He has improved.
But he's had a very interesting relationship with vocalizing.
Yes.
When we first got him, he never made a sound ever for like 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So when he started barking, we were like really excited about it. Actually,
like, oh, wow,
we definitely
yay.
encouraged it.
Yeah.
Good speak and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
but then it got too
a
much.
little overboard. Yep. And now it's like any little sound, he will bark, and he will bark for like 2 minutes if you don't stop him. We have discovered that the best way, the most effective way to get him to not bark is to positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard
Yeah.
because how do you positively reinforce something that isn't there? But it's like as soon as he stops barking,
give him a treat.
Yeah. Say, whoa, good, be quiet. Wow,
Yeah.
so quiet. You're a quiet boy. Good
Good
job.
boy.
And it's worked.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
He still has room to grow
Yes.
in the area of being quiet.
Yes.
But it's so much better. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
He used to bark like every friggin' 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've noticed that if he starts to bark, it could say, "Be quiet." It's a good boy. Be quiet.
Yeah, he's
and
gotten
he'll start
better
to like
at,
calm down. He'll like instead of like full-fledged barks, he'll like
go
start
from
to
0
whisper.
to 100. Like
Yeah.
just start barking, and now he'll kind of give a bit of a warning. He'll be like, and we'll be like, be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Something
sometimes.
really scares him, he might just start barking. But yeah, it's, we've had to pay attention to like his cues and sort of nip it in the bud.
Mm-hmm. And we try to
yeah.
we try to minimize triggers as much as possible
Yes.
for him. Like snapping is a trigger for him because it's a loud, sharp noise. So I don't do that as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Same with clapping. But I'm not gonna walk around my house hunched over all the time because he's afraid of tallness. It's just not realistic.
Yeah. I mean, you can't like not live your life. There are certain things that the dog will just have to get used to.
Yeah.
But if there are things that you can adapt, like if you have to make a change in your house, if it's possible to do it gradually, like we changed the floor gradually because it took us a really long time, or things like that. Like sometimes if I notice, I put something on the edge of the counter so it's easier for him to see it and he's scared, I'll just put it on the back of the counter so he just doesn't notice it. Like things like that, it's like, okay, try to minimize the things that freak him out. And also just as he gets used to what is consistent in the house, I think he has gotten better at not being so easily triggered by things like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at him because he's looking outside. I think he's just enjoying looking outside.
He's just vibing.
He's just vibing.
That's another area that he's really improved. He loves going outside.
Mm-hmm.
He will run around just all the time. He likes to play fetch, kind of.
He won't ever bring
the fetching it.
Yeah.
But he'll bring it to the general area where because he's a little scared of people. So he'll bring it to the area where you are, drop it, and then kind of run a few feet away, and then wait for you to throw it again. Yeah.
And we haven't really taught him very many commands like sit or stay or come here or anything like that. Like he'll know come here, but he'll only do it if he knows you have a treat with him. Mm-hmm. And he'll stay, but if we try to teach him stay out in the yard, he'll run to the gate and stay at the gate.
Yeah, to him, stay means go to a safe spot.
Yeah.
Like pretty much any time we tell him to stay, he will go to his corner in the living room, his corner of the kitchen. Stay does not mean stop where you are. And that works for us now.
Right now.
Yeah. Like we would love for him to stay, but right now, it's like he goes to a comfy space, settles, and then we can get him. That works.
Asleep.
He's falling asleep.
Yeah.
What a cute.
He goes, I'm not now.
What tips do we have for people who are thinking about adopting a hoarded dog? Patience.
Absolutely patience. I lack patience in a lot of aspects of my life, and he has taught me to exercise that a little bit more.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't, you know, it's natural to get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, don't beat yourself up. Of course, don't, like hit your dog or like scream in its face.
Yeah,
But,
that's not going to help anything.
You will get frustrated and you might I don't know, yell no unnecessarily loudly or clap really loudly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't beat yourself up. It's natural to be frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But so be patient with the dog, be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. And there will be points of regression.
Yes.
You might go a few months and say, wow, they're making progress, and then just one day, sorry, bud, and then just one day, everything goes away. It'll just be like almost like day one again.
For him, for some reason, he gets really triggered by sizzling skillets.
Yeah.
It took us a while to realize that. And again, it's not like we have decided, well, I guess we can't make bacon ever again.
Right.
Like, we're still going to cook things in skillets, but now we know, okay, Otto's going to be a little bit scared. It's okay. We're going to try to, keep him relaxed, maybe put him in the other room and close the door so he doesn't have to hear it, like do what we have to do. But now we know that like it's not just like he's, relapsing. It's just like things that you don't know might be setting him off.
Yeah. I just meant like, for example, there was a while that he was doing really, really good at eating his food, and then all of a sudden just like wouldn't. Sorry, I keep doing that. All of a sudden he just wouldn't eat.
But again, I'm saying like there's probably something underlying that we don't realize, and it's like it's not your fault, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there will be points of regression. You just got to work back through them again, and you'll get back up every time something regresses. The point to get back to where you are gets shorter every time.
Another tip that I have is meet them halfway. And by that, I mean, like the people at the shelter said, Otto won't ever be a completely normal dog. So if he doesn't like to cuddle in the traditional way, you have to view him using your legs as pillows as his form of cuddling. Or maybe if you have a dog who, you didn't adopt when he was 3 months and he's older and has way more trauma, maybe he doesn't cuddle with you at all and has his own way of like expressing affection. But it's like, learn to recognize that. I guess another example of meeting them halfway is like the way we do stay. We aren't trying to force him to stay in the traditional sense right now. We recognize that for him it's easier to just go to a spot that feels safe. And it's like certain things, after a while, it's just like, just back off for a bit. Let them do it their way. Of course, you can't do that with everything, but it for you and for them, it's just mentally way easier if you just try to meet in the middle on certain things.
And one thing I struggled with is understanding that everyone's story is different. There's no two dogs are the same. There's a lot of like feel good stories on like Facebook and YouTube about finding like a damaged, mistreated pup, and like, oh, after like 2 months they were kissing and loving at me and playing like a normal happy dog. No dog is ever really like that, like all the time.
We could paint the picture that Otto is like a perfect normal dog
by
only including clips of him playing outside.
Yeah.
Like, if we did that and just showed clips of him playing with us outside and with Bear, you would be like, that's a normal dog, wow. But even those dogs probably have their moments.
Yeah. Yeah, and what could have been a year-long struggle with Otto could maybe have only been 6 months for some dog, and maybe a year and a half for another dog.
And I mean, like some dogs, like I've known dogs that have been rescued from puppy mills. A lot of the time, like they never recover. But you can give them the best life that they can possibly have. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I also I put track progress somehow. if you are like a person who journals, seriously, I wish I had journaled like how many times a day Otto barked at something stupid, or like how much food he ate, or just things like that, so that I could see that there was progress, because sometimes it feels like there isn't progress. But like if I go back and look at the pictures I've taken of him, it's like I'll look at a picture of like when he got on the couch and remember that when I took that picture, I thought it was a big deal that he was getting on the couch. Or I have a picture where he was snuggled up in his corner of the living room and he put his head on the other side of the entertainment center. Instead of being back behind the entertainment center, he put it out in front. That was a big deal. Like the fact that that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like take pictures, journal, do something so that you can look back and see, wow, he does this now and he didn't before. Otherwise, you might not recognize like the little areas of progress that you and your dog are making. If your dog is just like still very anxious,
at your vet's discretion, try experimenting with calming supplements, whether in the form of a spray, a jacket, treats, or food. Our veterinarian, we brought up Otto's situation with him, and he mentioned a brand of food that we could feed Otto that he feels like would be a good idea. And so we bought that, and maybe that's attributed to how easy
I do
Otto
think
has
that
gotten.
he started eating more when we started feeding him the calming food. I think some people are like, I don't want my dog to like need meds to be happy or like whatever. Seriously, it's worth a try, and like you can wean them off of them if you feel like it's like inappropriate. Like again, like talk to your vet.
Yeah.
But like don't not try. Don't feel like you have to like just keep letting your dog be anxious just because like medication is scary. If your vet recommends it, like
Do it.
Do it. It's it's the vet's the expert. So yeah, I really think that it has helped to have the calming food, and maybe one day he won't need it, but right now I think it has made a really good difference.
Yeah.
But it's not just the food.
No.
I think it's also positive reinforcement, Bear being a good example, us trying to be consistent and keeping, routine, and just knowing, what he likes and what makes him comfortable. And he's a happy boy. And I'm a happy dog owner. Happy! We're happy!
We love him very much.
Yeah, we do.
And we try our best with him. It hasn't been easy the whole time. Some things have been easier than others, like potty training. And some things have been hard. It hasn't always been happiness, There's been some frustrations, some irritations from all parties, but we want the best for him. We're trying our best to make his life better than what it was before we met him.
Yeah. I think that's all we have to say. I mean, I could talk about Otto for like a whole day, an entire day straight, because there's just so much to say about him. He's got such an interesting life, but I think these are the biggest things, trying to boil it down to like under an hour. Yeah, I just wanted to do something like this. One, to celebrate, 1 year with Otto and all the progress that he's made. And also for anyone who's in a similar situation, I hope you can, relate to some of the things that we've talked about. It can be difficult, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah, if you are in the process of adopting a dog with a similar situation to Otto,
or even thinking about it,
yeah, stick with it, do your research, talk to your vet, and yeah, we love Bear, we love Otto. He's a really great addition to our family. I guess that's it. So, thank you guys for watching. If you have a dog in a similar situation to Otto, like hit us up in the comments. What are the challenges? What are some milestones that you're really proud of? I'm curious to hear about your experience, because every dog really is very different. Like, for example, when we were doing our research, they said that dogs from hoarded situations are like really hard to potty train, and Otto was great.
Yeah.
So like, what was maybe really easy for your dog, surprisingly. Like, I'm curious about the differences because, you know, they're like people. They're very diverse.
Yeah. And if you have any advice or tips or tricks or anything you want to share with us or with anyone else in the comments, feel free to let it fly. Just be polite.
And yeah, if you found this video helpful, you can give it a thumbs up. I don't normally do dog-related content. My usual content is about, like, music, media, linguistics, and just, like, whatever else is on my mind. This is what was on my mind, so this is what we're talking about for now. But if you're interested in those other things, you can subscribe, or if you just want to see Bear and sometimes Otto, like, they're in a lot of my videos. So, you know, subscribe if you want for slightly different content, but with the same people and dogs regularly. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.